It's working in here because I had been having problems with this audio before. But I had someone get in touch with me who wanted me to do basically the too long, not didn't read, but didn't watch. Um, because they said there was a point that I had made in my other video that might have gotten drowned out because, it's a 2 hour long video. So I wanted to give the really short version, hopefully 15 minutes or less. And you can watch the 2 hour long version if you want the long one. But basically, the controversy in Michigan comes down to the nature of their conventions. They have actually four conventions specified in their bylaws, but there's only three we need to worry about. One of them is a candidate nominating convention. One is a national delegate selection convention, and one is the convention where they elect their officers. And the question is the nominating convention and the delegate convention the type of convention that requires previous notice for any other kinds of business that might be brought up, or is it just a general meeting like any other convention where you can bring up any proper business without previous notice? The types of meetings or conventions at which you can just bring up any item of business and not have to give previous notice. I mean, there's some exceptions. Always for filling vacancies, you have to give previous notice unless your bylaws say otherwise. But let's put that aside for a second and just deal in generalities. Those are regular conventions. So the question is, are the candidate nominating conventions and the national delegate conventions regular conventions? And the argument on the opposing side, the side that did not win, is that they're regular conventions. That will create an absolute logical quagmire at which you would constantly not have a full board if you are saying that you can fill vacancies at those conventions without giving notice. Let me show you why, on how it would be like trying to fill up a glass that had a hole in the bottom of it, and it would require calling what everyone agrees is a special convention by call of the executive committee or by petition in order to solve it. So let me share my screen with you and show you this absolute logical contradiction. I don't believe that this was addressed directly in any of the parliamentary opinions or in the JC opinion. It was addressed indirectly, but I don't think this scenario, this reductio ad absurdum, was done in any of these opinions. Maybe it was, and I somehow missed it, but let me give it to you right now. So I am going to share a screen. Whoa, Inception. That's not the screen I wanted to share. Look at that. I want to share a different screen. And why isn't it letting me do that? Well, we are then just going to read it. So if you go to Article 3, officers, and crap, I really, really wanted to share this. Why won't it let me share this? This is so crazy. Look at this. It's going to do Inception again. Burp, 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 burp. Look at this. I love it. I love it. But that's not what I wanted to do. Safari is just having problems. So I'm going to read it to you. It names the officers of the party. And then it says, all of these officers shall be elected to a 2-year term at a regular convention of the party by the attending delegates. So no doubt that all of the officers are elected at a regular convention. The unstated argument seems to be by the parliamentarians on the other side that the term regular convention here isn't used in necessarily the Robert's Rules of Order sense of the word. They do think it is a regular convention in the Robert's Rules sense of the word, but they also think it's kind of a title, that this is just called the regular convention as opposed to the nominating convention and the national delegate conventions, which are also regular conventions, but not capital R to titular regular conventions. But that's not what the bylaw says. The bylaw says all of these officers shall be elected to a 2-year term at a regular convention, not the regular convention. So it's not titular. It is talking about the nature of the convention. It's a regular convention. And shall take office immediately at the close of such convention. So your prior officers stay in place until adjournment of that regular convention, then your new officers take office. Get it? And shall serve until the final adjournment of the next regular convention. If the candidate nominating convention, which is the following year, I mistakenly said in my prior stream it was 4 months. Got confused there. It's the next year. If that's a regular convention and you are deciding that you're going to fill some vacancies, let's say you have a vacancy in your treasurer, you're in your first and second vice chair, just to pick a couple things off the bat. And you're going to fill those vacancies at those conventions, and you think you can do it without notice because it's a regular convention, despite the fact that Robert says you need notice. Well, you fill them, but then because you're claiming that's a regular convention, all of your other officers, your chair, your secretary, all of your district representatives, their term prematurely ends because bylaw Article 3 says that they shall serve until the final adjournment of the next regular convention. If you are claiming there is a scheduled regular convention to occur midterm and you are filling vacancies there, you might have filled those vacancies, but then you just created more vacancies. And the only way you can fill those vacancies is by, ding, 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 calling a special convention. The absolute logical conclusion here is that the candidate nominating convention, at which you can allegedly fill vacancies, but you still need notice, is not a regular convention, or you might gain filling 3 vacancies, but you'd lose the rest of your board because their term of office ends at the conclusion of that convention. There is no logical way around this and be faithful to your bylaws. No one, I don't think, has adequately on the opposing side dealt with this. All right, I think I did do that in under 15 minutes, and hopefully that made sense. Watch the longer stream. If you would like more details on everything that went on, just know that I did misstate that the candidate nominating convention was 4 months after the regular convention. I got my years confused. It's actually like a year later, but it's not 2 years later, which is what that bylaw says, is that there's a regular convention every 2 years. Sorry, you got some dealing with it to do. Bye.